Hey, what's up guys? Shadow Law here. I'm bringing you a deck profile today on my new Satellarknight build for the November 1st, 2015 format. Not much has changed with the deck. They lost 2 Rhoda, but that is really about it. The archetype itself did not get touched, and I think in the upcoming format that these are going to be very, very strong contenders because they were a very good deck last format with a lot of big decks like Shaddolls and Necros and Burning Abyss and Clifforts, definitely Clifforts out of the way. They have room to just expand and do really, really well this format. So yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and get into the profile. So starting off, we of course run the 3 Deneb. You have to run this card. It's your Stratos of the deck and lets you search out what you need to get your plays started. Then we run the 3 Altier to really kickstart your plays. Once you get him off and you start going into your plays, then you can just keep looping pretty much the whole game. Then we run the 2 Anuk because I like him at 2. I see a lot of people changing their profile to 3 Anuk like they do in the OCG, but I like the ratio of having 2 in the deck. And then we run the 2 Vega, pretty standard. And then a change that I made is I am now running 2 Honest to round up the monster lineup. I stopped using Honest to make room for some other cards, but with the way the format is changing, you have room to put Honest back in, and without Necros on the field and Trishula to get rid of your Honest, it's really, really good to have in this deck. You have no monsters in here other than light monsters, and Honest can save you in tight situations. It's just really, really good to have in this deck. So yeah, that's it for the monster lineup. Let's go ahead and move on to the spells. Another change that I have made to the deck, I am now running 2 Skybridge. This card is very, very good for dodging effects and stuff that you don't want to happen. You can, say you have a Satellarknight on the field, it gets targeted for an effect or an attack, you Skybridge. It's pretty much like Mass Change in Heroes. It's an in-between kind of thing where the effect of the opponent's card kind of happens before your effect of your quick play spell resolves, so you can use Skybridge and send your Satellar that you got on the field back, and then bring out a new one, and that new one's unaffected by what your opponent is trying to do. So it's a really, really good dodge play. It also helps you to get off your loop plays. Say you don't have the right Satellar and you'd like to, you Skybridge, bring it back, and you bring out what you need, and then you just keep looping. It's good for consistency, and it's also good for defensive plays. So yeah, very good card to have in the deck. And then for consistency, I added the 2 pots. I was kind of iffy on running this card in this deck because of all the special summoning that happens, but I figured I'd give it a shot, and so far it's been working out pretty good. It's really, really good for consistency. Yeah, it stops you from special summoning that turn, but at least it gets your hand to where it needs to be in order to get your plays off really quick, and it's really good. I would not run 3, and I wouldn't run 1 because it's not enough. 2 is really good. 3, if you run 3, I think it would slow you down a bit, but 2 is really good so far. And then I run 2 MST for back row hate. You don't really need 3 MST in this deck. You can get rid of back row other ways in this deck pretty easily without MSTing, so I only run 2. And then, sadly, I only run the 1 Rhoda now. It is one of. Self-explanatory. Then you run the 1 Book staple and the 1 Regeki staple. And that wraps up the spell lineup for the deck. So now moving on to the trap lineup, and this is the heaviest part of the deck. So we're starting off with 3 Satellarknight Alpha, pretty standard. You have to run this in any Satellar build. Then of course you run the 3 calls and the 3 Oasis. It pretty much keeps you in the game if you ever run out of materials. You can just keep looping your plays. This helps. You need to run 3 of each. Then you run the 3 Mirror Force. Honestly, I'm running 3 Mirror Force in pretty much every deck that I have because Mirror Force is such an amazing card. And I don't understand why people stopped using it for Deep Prison and stuff like that. 3 Mirror Force. And then you run the 3 Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain is starting to make its way back into the game. A lot of people kind of took it to 1 or 2, and now you're starting to see people run 3 of it again, and it's a good decision because Fiendish Chain is amazing. And then for the 1-ofs, you run 1 Bottomless, 1 Compulse, 1 Torrential Tribute, and 1 Ring of Destruction. And the last 4 1-ofs are kind of your choice. You can run what you want. I just chose those 4 because I like them better than anything else. And yeah, that wraps up the main deck. Let's go ahead and do the extra now. I don't have a side deck put together for this yet because of the format change. It's going to take me a little bit to actually know what I need to side and see what people are going to play and stuff yet. But moving on to the extra deck, we still run the 2 Trevier. Pretty much your best Satellar rank 4 in the deck. And then you run the 1 Deltaros and the 1 Ptolemaeus and the 1 Constellar Diamond. These are your basic 5 Satellars that you always run in any Satellar build. So, self-explanatory. Then you run the 1 101. Any rank 4 deck needs to run at least 1 101. Probably one of my favorite cards in the rank 4 engine. It's just amazing. And then what you're seeing a lot lately is people running 2 Castel because Castel is awesome, and how easy he is to get a hold of with the Megatons and stuff, and him being a promo. You gotta run 2 Castel. Castel's amazing. Then you run the 1 Dark Rebellion XYZ. Again, amazing card and really easy to get a hold of now. And then I run the 1 Kargount because it's a warrior deck. It's pretty self-explanatory. He's just a really good rank 4 card to have. Then you run the 1 Heroic Champion. Ron, I never really knew how to say his name, but anyway, he's a really good card to run in spammy decks like this, because if you can get 5 materials on him, it's pretty much game over for your opponent. It's just amazing. And yeah, people do run Soul Charge in this deck. I prefer not to run Soul Charge just because I think it kind of hurts you in a way if you misplay with it, and it's really easy to misplay with. And Soul Charge has helped me out, but it's also hurt me in a lot of situations, so I just kind of took it out of the deck. And you can play it if you want to. You can drop one of the 1-of traps and just stick a Soul Charge in there, and he's easier to make with it. I just prefer not to play Soul Charge. Then I run 1 Heartland Draco, 1 Diamond Dyer, and 1 Star Leech. This is a pretty decent card that was just released a little bit ago. And I've been playing around with it in Satellars, and it's working pretty good. His effect is pretty decent, and he's got 2,000 attacks, so he's working out pretty good. And yeah, that wraps up the deck profile for the November 1st Satellarknights build. And I hope you guys liked it, and like and subscribe. And until next time, Shadow Law signing out.